In 3 months, you've transformed your mindset from I do everything, $1 to $2 million. I hate this business. I don't even know why I'm in it to this. I'm going to build a behemoth of a business. You know, it's all talk if we don't do it, but you just said you've never not hit a goal that you've set out to. So I suspect with a high probability of being right that you're going to hit your goal. I actually am, as long as you stay committed to it and endure the pain, like you're going to get there. Walk me through what you've done and what you're doing. Where are you at in this entrepreneurial journey from your lens?
We're obviously, we've added some background staff, so we have, you know, what I would call my integrator now, and we have my office administrator, or executive administrator, however you will. And so they're my two, like, we're my two titans within the team. They're helping me manage and as well as have meetings each week to continue to see where our numbers are. We know, all right, we've added this staff on, so now we need to increase revenue coming in.
This is actually one of my favorite parts about the podcast is a new relationship that's become something really tangible for us. But what I know is you're hitting an inflection point in your business. And last we talked, you know, prior to our other dealings together, you were getting ready. You were just annoyed with it, right? And so I think you were getting into real estate, all of this. So take me and the audience from the Zach Knoll that they met in, I'm going to say 2024. I think it was fall 2024. You hopped on this podcast. We were chatting. You're basically, the man I spoke to then was like a technician that put himself in a position to be independently wealthy. You were proud, but not super proud of that. And now, where are you today? Tell me where you are today.
Yeah, and I'll get into all that, Kevin. I just want to make sure. So today's meeting, our purpose today is this we're essentially doing the script for a podcast. Is that correct?
Everything, we're on podcast. Yeah, we're telling Zach Knoll's story, Zach Knoll, Kevin's way, but I'm telling the story, Zach Knoll.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take 2 years ago, or fall of 24, if our memory serves me right. Yeah, my business was based around, so I had one employee at the time. I was the sole technician. I was doing every dent job that was booked. I was doing every phone call that came in. I was taking for the most part. My one other employee would answer once in a while. I was experiencing a lot of headache as far as just I wanted to grow the business, but I couldn't really find that way to get out of that technician role because I would run out of time in the day. So I didn't really know how I could expand beyond that. I felt stuck, genuinely stuck.
I love that word, by the way. That's like something we're talking about. And yeah, I think most people do. All right, cool. So then you called me, I put you in touch with a coach, and you've been it seems from my vantage point, could we say that you're unstuck or getting unstuck? How do you feel today?
Yeah, if we look back, and I think we started 3 months ago, 2 months ago. 2 months ago?
Yeah, I have it pegged for May. I think May was month one. I think we're coming through 2 months, month two, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. No, the change from 2 months ago, once I brought on the coach, has been tremendous because it gave me the courage to add on staff and take those, basically put the trust in others to help me do those tasks that I shouldn't have been doing, so I can focus on tasks that actually help the business grow. So yeah, ultimately I do feel unstuck. Of course, we're still going through a lot of growth right now to get to where we want to, but I can tell we're on that path.
Sweet. All right. So let's talk about, because like the vision from, and my vantage point is only limited, but the vision, like I've been super interested in your business as we've gotten to be talking more. It's just like, you know what I want to do, right? I want to explore the lounge with you. We'll talk about the lounge. I think like I really want to do resto mod trucks. So I think we've been talking about that, but within your business in of itself, initially I didn't notice it. My first question is, because I'm not sure what podcast I'm going to put you on, and I didn't when I first interviewed you either. Do you consider it a trade? I would consider it a trade. You're in the trades, no?
Yeah, it's auto body essentially.
Yeah, no, yeah. All right, cool. I think I'm going to put you up on both. But man, I don't know. Just recently, when you were telling me some of the growth you were doing and all this, I was like, dude, this is kind of actually really exciting business. So, talk to me about where do you want to take the business? So I want to get close to your business if you'll let me, because I would like to go fix trucks, right? I want to be able to take old things and make them new. And all of us, for certain body styles, they don't make those in a crew cab, right? So my hope would be that I can go convert the trucks that I love, these old heritage like relics, and get somebody to help me put cabs on them. And it's crazy. I feel like, and so from my vantage point, the lost art of body shop is shifting. It's like, so I don't know. Yeah, tell me where your business situates in that. I understand PDR. I've recently got excited about PDR, but tell the audience who you're trying to be when you grow up.
So the knowledge of PDR, I would say, is it's not super common. And most people don't know about us until like a hailstorm, different things like that. But everything, just a little background on it, everything we're doing it doesn't require paint. So we're fixing light collision damage down to like hail damage. That's kind of our realm. Anything in between, as long as there's not paint damage, that's where paintless dent repair is coming into play. Of course, there's scenarios where it doesn't work, and that's where we tightly run with body shops. So a lot of times we're partnered with body shops to continue to, as they get in work that requires paintless dent repair. They usually don't have an in-house technician, so they're pulling in from companies like myself to get that work done. And then on the flip side, when we run into work that we can't do, it's going to a body shop because we can't do it. And where I see this, and this is the part I'm cautious of myself here, Kevin, and how much I want to say on this, but like I want to horizontally integrate. That is what I want to do. I'm skeptical of putting that on the podcast, probably because of
no, you're good. We'll
upsetting accounts.
We will we will edit whatever you want out of here. But I wanted to get, so a lot of people guard against this. So like I just want to talk about your business, and I want to make sure I'm understanding it right, particularly for the lounge, which we won't talk about today, and then particularly for my selfish reasons, right? I'm here selfishly because like you're very close to it, but so what you're getting ready to not say is like, hey, should I have my own body shop? Do I need my own body shop? And it's like, well, you don't want to talk about that because we don't want to cannibalize. And it's like, well, if we're going to share this with your prospective customers, our goal. And I shouldn't say ours, your goal. And if you do decide to invite me to the dance or allow me to be there, you understand I'm playing the game here. But ideally, we wouldn't have to. But so I want to talk about the structure. Like if I want to make sure that we're clear. The only reason you want to horizontally integrate is because it's very hard to get into these body shops and like make enough money to like, so they're taking 30%, right? I want to walk through the business. So most of your business is muddling along until a storm hits, and then you make a bunch of money. And when the storm hits, these body shops get super busy. Is that right? They get super busy, and it's very annoying to them, but they make 30%, and they really don't have to do much other than keep the cars flowing in and out and like deal with the customer's headaches. And like basically a sub or like a used shop comes in and does the work. Is that more or less the business?
100%.
It's super interesting because it's very related to fence. This is very close to fence. Most fence brokers and this I think is a sin in our industry, they don't even have their own installers. They just sub all the work. They get a deal and whatever. But what's interesting is the body shop, it's a headache for them. So my question to you, and I want to make sure that this is clear. If we could just go tell 20 key body shops that we're going to solve their PDR problem, we're going to solve it, right? So when the phones ring, even from the resourcing of cluttering up their shops, that whole thing, we're just going to be their end-to-end PDR solution. When the storm hits, you don't have to clutter up your phones, your work is whatever, right? If we solve that problem, if we could get, let's say we claw 15% of that 30% back, and they're literally touchless. The calls we just take their calls and we put it through our system, and like it is an ambassadorship of them. Any leads we get, we feed back to them for their work. That would be the ideal story, right? If we could just get 20 key body shops and get half that margin back, do most of the hard work, make their life easier. Is that, or no?
Yeah, if we can incorporate that reaches those goals. I still think a body shop's going to play. I mean, like we're talking inside of this, I do see a body shop happening, but yes, if you can get back 15% of that margin, you have room to play again.
Okay. Yeah. So, and so the question that we have, and I just want to make sure, again, we don't need to post this, right? We don't need to, and by the way, dude, nobody's Nobody can find me, just so you know, and I'm trying to be seen. So nobody's going to find Zach Knoll on Better Questions or Atomic. So you're good. But I want to be very clear, your safety, and I do this with all my guests. If you don't want to put it, I'll have you, whatever. But like, the question that I have, because so my uncle's in the business, I want to get in the business, and I don't think we need more businesses. We need less better, right? More is, and so the question is, how do we marry to the existing infrastructure in the most abundant ecosystem, right? Is like, can we come as a PDR partner, maybe earn our way in? Because this is what I want to explore with you on my side is, so there's consolidation going on in our industry, right? The private equity, and I'm not going to call them names, the gamblers, and they're coming to our space, and I think they're mucking it up. And I know, and I don't want to, I know that you have some big powerhouses in your sphere, body shops. You have that, you guys have already consolidated a little bit. You go to Jiffy Lube, it's indiscernible. There's some big chains, Quick Lubes, whatever, right? The automotive has already kind of gone through the higher level consolidation, right? And so my suspicion is the family shops are hurting, is my belief, right? And then I believe, and that this is what I do think we need to guard against, if we were coming to ally with family shops and consolidate PDR into one family owned, super promoting family business. I don't know. I can't articulate it right now. I'll work on this pitch. I want to talk to these smaller body shops to understand what they're up against, and if they're getting the calls, and why they didn't get bought or why they didn't sell, and what is hard about them. And is this PDR an opportunity for us to pursue as a partnership? And then maybe, is there a succession plan? I think we've both spoken in our industries. You've got the big dogs that are just crushing it, right? 20 locations, they're crushing it. And then you've got what I call the defunct entrepreneurs, kind of, maybe this is in both of our spheres. So I'm not picking on anybody, but they don't actually know how to run a business. They're like really technicians that are trying and whatever else, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's 100% fair to say.
So my question is, what is it, the opportunity in the middle for us to do the greatest work? Is that to start a new body shop? And I would ask flat out, should we? And what problems are they facing? And then if PDR is an opportunity for both of us, which I think it is, right? Because I don't think, tell me if I'm wrong here, our ideal client, they don't have a great system for PDR. Every time it storms, it's kind of a nuisance for them. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's chaos every time after it hails.
So if we could systemize the chaos, I think we could be a good partner to the right body shops. And then the other question that I have that I'm really wanting to explore with you as you're selling, right, is are the big dogs, what are they doing? Like the Calibers, the Caliber Collision, are they doing all their own in-house, or are they subbing to guys like you?
So Gerber and Caliber, I believe, are sister companies, if I'm not mistaken, and they are contracted out to a bigger player in the PDR industry. And that's what I touched on to the email to you. So yeah, the bigger players typically do run into contracts, or they're doing it in-house. It's very common. They're getting to be more common.
So they self-fulfill their own?
Gerber, Caliber?
For PDR. I'm sorry, I know you just said it, but I got distracted. I did not realize they're sisters. So they really own the market.
Yeah, and I should know this because it's bad that I don't, but I do believe Gerber, Caliber.
But to be clear, on their PDR side, they have solved for that. We're probably not going to ever get in with them.
So I am wrong. Gerber does not own Caliber, but I wouldn't say you couldn't. So talking with the company so I met with Gerber on, was it Thursday? And so they are contracted with High Tech is the name of the company. And she made it sound like they're also contracted with Dent Smart. They're unhappy with Dent Smart, so they're only using High Tech at this moment. Otherwise, outside of High Tech, they just use like High Tech comes in when there's a big storm or a big enough storm or enough work to send somebody there. Otherwise, they're using somebody else to take care of their tricklers in between.
High Tech that's like the most legit PDR. Is that?
I wouldn't say it's the most legit, but they are a bigger player for sure. They thrive on offering large discounts in return for bulk work. So like I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure high tech runs closer to a 35 to 45% discount to these body shops.
So they're high volume, low, are they high touch? Do they do a good job? Or you think?
I think they have some techs that do a good job, but they are known for like quality issues.
Man, it's so interesting. Well, I don't want to cannibalize. So it's interesting. So you're stepping, let's focus on you. So because I think what you represent, and that why I wanted to bring you on is I think you represent every entrepreneur struggle in this moment. Right now, you have to get bigger or stay small. And like I consider the sweet spot right at that 3 to 15 to 20 million to be a successful entrepreneur insofar as you have time margin and money margin to like not be wrapped around the business. I think up to 3 million, it's very hard. You need one of everybody, but you can't afford one of everybody. So everybody's doing multiple jobs. Does that make sense? Does that sound?
It sounds very familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Living
So
it.
now, so you're at this do or die threshold of like, do I have to go start another business or how do I grow my existing? Fair?
Yep.
And getting away from the scariness of this recording and how we use this and what is it damaging is like, I would want us to be able to take this because I think your struggle is the same struggle that the body shops, your customers are facing. And it's like, could you alleviate one of their struggles and grow your business and grow their business? And then what do you do with the bigger fish? And I think the thing I would encourage everybody listening to this is the right competitors want to see you do well, right? Because they're not trying to squish you and they're like that. So there are always going to be the abundant mind of people that want to help bring you up and want you, if you are going to be a body shop owner, there's going to be people that would rather you just carry it on for themselves because their second, third generation don't want to take it. And there's others that just say, hey, if you're coming into this space, I want to teach you how to do it responsibly because I want you to be making money, not dragging the market down, right? So I would encourage everybody to not be afraid to just say what it is they want to do. Our goal would be to be I think, and please correct me, I keep saying ours, if you bring me to the dance, but the goal for you would be, why don't you say it? Like if you said it in a sentence, the goal for you in PDR, your greatest dream, don't do we do realistic goals, you got realistic goals, but ultimate, what do you want to do with PDR?
Like for the business as a whole, like where I see it.
10-year target, catastrophic success. If you do everything you want to do, what is that for you?
Expanding. I'm trying to think how I could sum this up in a sentence. I still see it with our own body shops. I see that as part of it, but multiple retail locations, business to consumer. I guess I don't really. Yeah.
What's the revenue? Just give me the revenue.
Oh, so 10-year target
for you. Yeah. In your head. What? Yeah.
Yeah. 50 million.
And what was it 3 months ago?
Well, 10 years. I mean, 3 months ago before, I mean, if I $1 million to 2 million,
That's rad. So that's cool. And so then the question is how, right? How do you get to 50 million? Can you do it strictly PDR? Do you have to launch your own body shops? We don't know. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Yeah. And so 50 million, how many locations do you think that takes for you if you were a betting man?
Are we coupling with body shops or strictly PDR?
Draw it either way. If you had to just put a pin on the map and you said, I think I can run this much out of each location, minimum, maximum.
I think if you pair them together, you're probably looking at around 10 locations if they're paired together.
And if we were able to solve and just do it PDR, how many PDR locations do you think?
Probably closer to 30.
30. And today we don't know which is the better path. Would you say you don't know?
Not with 100% certainty. I think body shops is going to be a solid path within it, but I don't know would be the shortest answer.
Interesting. And how many states do you think you will need to cover to get to your goal?
5 states comes to mind. Like that's honestly what my gut tells me.
And how many people do you think you'll have to employ? Just a range. Min max.
50 to 75.
Cool. And now this is going to get really hard. How much do you think? So let's say you got they're as good or better than you as a technician, and they're a titan of their trade. They're just extremely efficient and they do their job really well. What do you think? And
You're bringing a tear to my eye. That sounds so nice.
how much do you think your technicians could be making if they're really BA?
Oh, over 100.
Yeah. Does that excite you at all?
Yeah,
That-
absolutely. Providing like good quality jobs for my technicians, like, I mean, that's a purpose.
How do you, so now that you're a $50 million guy or building yourself to be a $50 million guy, what is your encouragement to get, I'm leaving the whole conversation about like, how do we do this and what do we want to do, whatever, like, what's your encouragement to others that are stuck, that were where you were 3 months ago to where you are today, just in a mindset? Obviously, proof is in the pudding, but have you ever not done something you've set out to do?
No, every time I make a goal, I end up hitting that goal. I mean, that's the reality of it. So, but looking back on it from 3 months ago, it would be taking that step back and understand that you're not going to be making as much money at first, but you need to, if you truly want to grow a business, you have to bring on a team of people to help you grow that business. Because without a team, you will run out of time in the day and you will suffer from burnout.
Heard. That's super cool. So then getting back to let's talk about like what is left for you to do to go, like, where in 3 months you've transformed your mindset from I do everything, $1 to $2 million. I hate this business. I don't even know why I'm in it, to this, I'm going to build a behemoth of a business. It's all talk if we don't do it, but you just said you've never not hit a goal that you've set out to. So I suspect with a high probability of being right that you're going to hit your goal. I actually am, as long as you stay committed to it and endure the pain, like, you're going to get there. So what in this season, so walk me through what you've done and what you're doing and what is next. Where are you at in this entrepreneurial journey from your lens?
Yeah, so the biggest, I mean, we're obviously, we've added some background staff. So we have, what I would call my integrator now, and we have my office administrator, or executive administrator, however you will. And so they're my two, like, my two titans within the team. They're helping me manage and as well as have meetings each week to continue to see where our numbers are. And we know, all right, we've added this staff on, so now we need to increase revenue coming in, because the same revenue that was okay 3 months ago isn't any longer. We have more staff, more people to feed, and more expenses. So the net profit, it changes at that point. So ultimately, sales is going to be the biggest driver from this moment.
And how is that going?
Sales are going well. It's going no, I mean, we're experiencing some wins. Actually, we're currently working out, and I haven't had a chance to talk with you about this one either, but actually, so with a camper manufacturer of fish houses in Minnesota, they build fish houses and campers, but my integrator, he has a connection with one of the owners of one of the largest in the state area, actually. So we're possibly working out a fleet contract with them for tinting all of their new campers. Not all, but a certain percentage. So that's just in the works right now. We've gained a few body shop accounts since I've freed up some of my time to increase sales runs. Certainly working on building relationships. Since 3 months ago, I've had, close to 30 conversations with different body shops, just fostering relationships, getting to know them, finding out if I can help them, if they have a need for somebody else, of what their problems they're currently experiencing, and just continuing to build. And that is the biggest plan. I mean, when they ask us to come in, they don't trust you just immediately. You have to take that time to build that relationship, and that's hard because you want that immediate sale, but you have to accept that is the case. If it was my own business, I would be skeptical of having somebody who just walked in through the door and say, "Yep, you can have all my work right now."
And are you you've been selling the whole time you've owned and operated that business. Are you able to sell differently now or no? Does it feel any different?
Yeah, it does. And I feel like as my time frees up to where it can be more invested in sales, it feels like for example, if my phone's ringing while I'm in a sales call, I don't feel that immediate pressure like, oh my gosh, I'm missing a customer phone call. I realize I now have an integrator and an executive admin that can take that call as well. So I can just focus on that relationship and giving that person the proper time.
And can you, I know like it's early, 3 months, but like, so you're kind of a renewed sales agent in your own business. Are you like the 30 conversation you've had, would you have been able to do that before? Or would that be like, is that progress or not necessarily? Or are the conversations different and how?
Yeah, it's definite progress. These conversations, what used to be me shaking their hand and walking out the door, I was in a rush, have now turned into anywhere, I mean, on average, at least a 10-minute conversation, all the way up to close to an hour. So these are long conversations that I'm having with people, and these being able to meet with, I mean, these 30 stops have all happened within the last few weeks. So that takes a tremendous amount of time. That's not something that just if you don't have a team behind you, you're not able to just chunk out 30 route stops.
So technically nothing's new. You've always been doing this, but would you just say because you can devote the time that you're able to make much more effective? Is that what you're saying? Is it significantly more effective or is it not? Is it a bit of the same?
No, it is. It's a bit of the same. It is. But I've realized that I've needed to build a relationship with these accounts, whereas before, if they just didn't have work for me that exact moment, I pretty much like maybe I'd stop in another one time, two time. But I understand now that this is a long game, and as I've become a more experienced business owner, I understand that they want to get to know me better before they trust me with any work. So I have to stay persistent and stay in touch with them.
And we can just take the beard down now because I'm curious. I am your coach, so are you? I'm a relational savant. So what's interesting is you're saying is like you're able to be more intentional with your relationships. Is that because of my guidance or strictly because of the time? Is like is it you couldn't do one without the other? I know that, but what is driving more? I mean, that sounds super successful, and I happen to know that it's really only been in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're like doing that. I feel like you've done a whole year's worth of sales in 2 weeks, more or less. But would you say that the result is more of an effective you having freed your time so that you're not, when you're selling and you're trying to operate and you're trying to, you got to go be a technician, like you can't, like the focus, you use the focus word, focus and tenacity, like grit are the two things that make an entrepreneur successful. I'm curious if the ability to focus is what's delivering it, or being able to sit under somebody that understands how to do relationships and giving you that guidance. And I'm not looking for any ego pump up. I think they're one and the same. But what is more enabling for you to be? You keep using the relationship world, and I'm wondering. I'm like, is this because he's now my disciple, or because like he just had the focus and is the ability to see what he's got to do?
Truthfully, really focusing on relationship sales, that really does stem from you, Kevin. And that's not just me like saying that but it's because I know, like, I brought you on as a coach because for one, I trust you, and two, what you did worked. So why would I don't really need to deviate from that. What you did worked. I can make it my own, but I can follow those principles that you used and I can go where I need to. You're saving me what would have maybe taken me another 5, 10 years to figure out. We maybe just trimmed off, let's just call it 4 years already. I don't know that exact answer. I don't know if anybody does, but I'm not gonna fight a system that can work. I mean, there's a million different ways to do these different sales. I mean, there's a million different sales techniques, but also it resonated with me well because I do like to build a true relationship. I'm not like a shark type person. I like to actually get to know somebody, and I actually care. I want to help solve their problem. And if I can't, I don't want to, I'll let them know. Like I don't want to be there because I'm not needed or wanted.
Yeah, no, it's cool. and I did not do this because I don't want coaching clients. I mean, you approached me, right? And I'm working with two, and I always told myself I'd only work with 3 to 5 a year because I want to make transformational results. But I do think the takeaway for any entrepreneur is you got to if you find a good coach, you should get radical results. Because in my opinion, I'm listening to a guy that went from a stuck $1 million solopreneur to you're an enterprise builder right now, and you're in that season. And frankly, for everybody listening, give us 3 years. We won't know what could be done. But I do think at the end of 12 months that you'll be in the same, what you've accomplished in the last 2-3 months. I think that continues. Yeah. So that's awesome. And so I think the guidance would be like, everybody should find the right mentor. And I think what I get upset about is like the programs that are out there right now, I don't think produce the results. And it's hard to find a good lawyer. It's hard to find good help. It's hard to find a good coach, but like to sit under the right mentor is the right answer. And for everybody else, like being relationally focused, that's the answer. And then how to do that is like where the juice is like how to do that. And I think you told me like the difference in your orientation with these people, because you are starting first with relationships, it is feeding you better. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I 100%. I mean, I feel good after these conversations, and I feel like I actually got to know them.
Yeah. Well, so I think getting back to kind of the inquiry that I want to be on with you and entering back into the dangerous place is like, I'm going to speak to it from my business, right? I'm going to speak to like a fencing subcontractor that like wants to, if they would come to my company and say that, I would offer them the ability to come grow alongside of me. And I think I would encourage you to not be afraid of that. And I think what we're out to understand is what is our client profile. And I don't think we represent a threat to anybody at this time. We really don't. We don't want to be a threat. And frankly, like if we make the right relationships in and around Minnesota where you are, right? That if we do this the right way, is you've got 20 to 30 key accounts that provide PDR the organic growth and profitable growth that it needs. We solve this problem for PDR for all of the body shops that come into your network, right? We make it a less nauseating headache, and hopefully if we do that, we get compensated better. The splits look different. And then if it becomes the fact that we need to have our own body shop, hopefully you've found some disgruntled old tired people that don't have anybody to give their business to, and we can walk our way into their shop and take over something, right? Or we do it in a different state, right? Or for you, if you're like, no, I want a body shop in Minnesota, then we would, it would be a different approach. And then I would want to go learn all of the things we'd want to learn from people out of our market, right? So you know what I mean? Like, and that's where we want to do everything above board. I don't think you have anything to hide, right? And I'm saying this to you to say this to all the other entrepreneurs is like, if you tell them exactly what you're doing, you don't have to, like, you're being a straight shooter, right? It's like, I one day want my own body shop. I'm just wondering if you'd ever sell it. I want to blah, blah, blah. It's like otherwise you're kind of hiding from it and you're going to do it anyway, right? And so there is this disingenuous, it's like, lead with what you're doing. And like the right people are going to answer calls and the wrong people are like, well, I'm not going to support you. Frankly, dude, think about the avatar of the person that doesn't want you to do PDR because one day they know they're competing. It's probably not somebody you want to deal with anyway.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, in fact, I've already run into accounts like that where since I'm doing my own work, they literally asked me to close up shop because there was a hailstorm in the area. So
yeah, those aren't your partners. Yeah. So, and I don't know if we use this or don't use this. I think, yeah, super interesting. I'm extremely curious to see what the big guys are doing and what the little guys aren't doing, and like what is left in the middle to help support body shops. Do like the typical body shop, are they reliant on collision? And I guess would that be so you've got collision guys, and then you've got like custom shops, basically, right? Would that be kind of like the two disciplines? And are the custom shops, do they do any of the PDR? I assume they even want the PDR less than the collision guys, eh?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, some customers that are like truly like spending top dollar, they want some like PDR, so there's very minimal mud bondo put in like it's pretty much just metal finished. But in general, no, there's very little PDR work being done in the classic car industry, custom car industry. It's going to be a lot of, I would say collision and custom work, like you touched on, is like two separate niches within the same industry.
And the consumers don't really know that. So I guess I'm assuming they don't know that. So the collision guys are all insurance, eh? Like that, they really don't, do they, what is their, do you know what their life looks like for them to be forward facing? Because like if I crash my car, I go to the body shop and then they interface for me for insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the customer is really the insurance company. And then is that right?
I'm trying to like I mean, ultimately their deal. So if I'm getting, the body shop is dealing primarily. So the customer brought it to the body shop because they like that body shop. But then from there, that point forward, the body shop is dealing with insurance and keeping the customer updated on where it's at.
Interesting. I guess, like let's say I had hail damage, because that's insurance too. But if I get in an accident, do I call my insurance? Do most people call their insurance first and ask them what body shop to go to? Is the insurance being the referral company, or do they mostly just go to the body shop local that they know or have seen or want to go to?
Both. I would say it'd be like a 60% we'll call the insurance company first, no matter what. Like even for us, if we want to get a job going, they have to call insurance to get a claim number. Now, this part you'll find interesting, but within insurance companies, they do have contracts with certain, like it's called direct repair programs with certain body shops. So they steer customers. They're not legally supposed to, but they do this. They steer those customers to those shops because those shops in return give discounts on, whether that's parts or labor times, labor rates, something. So that's another contract within all of this. State Farm's a very big one for that, Progressive.
You probably want to know the insurance people. They'll probably, because they can put you in touch. I call them swim coaches. Have I ever given you the swim coach analogy?
No.
So when it's from a book. I don't know whose it is. I use it all the time. But like when you, I'll say it this way: if you're going to go run a triathlon, just think of the general and you want to win. What do most people need the most help with? Running, biking,
swimming.
Yeah, swimming. Yeah. Did you say that because I said swim coach, or because it seemed obvious?
We're gonna go with obvious.
Yeah, because most people know how to ride a bike. They know how to run. They don't know how to swim like effective, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So like, and then what's the next thing? So most people already have their running shoes. They don't need a lot of help. What's the next big purchase that somebody's going to make when they're when they're going to go race a triathlon? The big purchase.
I mean, I don't know if steroids is the right answer here or not.
No. Yeah, no. You don't need.
Oh,
you don't need
maybe a swim cap then.
No. You got to ride one big thing that needs to be a pretty, like a bike, dude. Right? You're gonna buy a bike. You're gonna get a race bike. No, you're gonna spend 5-10. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Who's the greatest feeder of the bike store?
Whoever's
the swim coach, right?
Yeah.
So the swim coach, everybody gets a swim coach, and then it's like the next thing they do is buy a bike. So like the swim coach should be on a referral program with the bike. Like if I was a bike shop, I want to know all the swim coaches because they're going to refer me, right? Like they're going to help me with swimming, and then by the way, like where you should buy your bike from Zach over at Zach's Wheels. Does that make sense? Like they're great referrals. They never sell a bike. But they sell a bunch of bikes, right? I think the insurance people might be a good feeder for you and your business to know those people, and like, because they also know all of the body shops and you can just say, this is what I'm doing. Like, who should I talk to, right? And I suspect you might get some referrals.
It does, and I do. I'm not. I haven't been super diligent about keeping up with insurance companies, but I have worked. Like some of them, I know that are sending me work directly. Like I always give them for one a thank you card, bringing bars, just different things like that. But I mean, there's been no formality behind it.
Yeah, well, they know the market. I mean, they definitely. Well, anyway, interesting. So, yeah. I don't. We're not gonna have time to get into the tactics of your inquiry, but I do think like I would tell you to be as unapologetically and unfearfully, like, just tell them what you're up to. And I would leave it. I would leave the conversation of like, should I I'm looking for mentors, right? As like, should I be getting into a body shop? And if I got into a body shop, what location? And like, would you, do the private equity guys call you? Would you ever be interested in selling your body shop? Like, I don't know, is that a good avenue for me, or can I just service your PDR tech? And how do we best like take this headache away? I think is a very safe inquiry. I think if we're
Yeah.
being honest, go ahead.
I agree. I tried to adjust based on what account I was going into. Like the ones that were closer to me, I just went along the lines with like what I felt right to me. And it was like I was just being truthful, but I started the conversation with, hey, I'm Zach with Dent Details. Like I understand you already have a PDR guy, but I brought in more technicians. I'm working on growing my business. Are there other services that you're seeing within the industry that could use more help? And then typically they, truck bed liners, whatever it was, I don't know. But it started a conversation, and then from there I could dig into, however it went, but try to figure out how many techs, different things like that.
So I've been pretty, and like I think curiosity is the greatest strength a human has. But I'm also very curious if you built your business on like total vehicle protection, because what is that other? So you guys are doing tints. You're not doing body liners. You're not doing wraps. But you are doing vehicle protection films, right?
Yep.
And does it stand to reason as of today that you could just build the total vehicle protection vessel for both body shops and dealers? Like that could be a play, no? You seem you're pretty sure we want a body shop, but we don't actually know that right now, right? For all we know, like if you were offering those services, you could grow it that way, no?
Yes. Yep. And that is a very common route that people that are growing within my industry are taking.
What doesn't excite you about that versus having your own shop?
I would say the biggest item that doesn't excite me about that is most of those businesses don't actually know how to like run a business a lot of times, and they abuse your schedule. And a lot of time, like dealerships tend to just be cheap and kind of frustrating and need you on a drop of a hat kind of thing. That's really, I would say that's it. I mean, like I've enjoyed like with my store taking another level of professionalism with it and like controlling the schedule and like true like focusing on the end result, not just the cost.
Yeah, so you lose control, you lose, yeah, scheduling autonomy, and got it. So it's intricate that way. That helps me. So what I wanted to do, why I very much this, I hope this doesn't appear as like a self-validating. I did not have this podcast to be self-validating, but because we didn't talk about the lounge, like the Ultimate Man Hub with like, all the stuff that we want to do with it. I want to start talking to other people about that. And I want to be able to take this and go talk to people out of your states. And I want to just be like, hey, help me understand this industry. And my question to them would be, hey, does Zach need a body shop? Because I think our ideal would be you don't need it, but we're willing to, if we need to hit his growth goals. Does he need a body, right? And I want to go have those conversations. But I think in the meantime, dude, like I would be approaching the client just saying, hey, how do I get more business? Like, do I need to be offering all of these services? Or maybe you're not interested in that, but it sounds like, I mean, we didn't even bring up bed liners. So is that, yeah. And so now I'm curious about campers too, because what do they do when they get hail? Like those things don't make it. Is that a totally different?
Yeah, they usually get like a new roof put on.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
I happen to know that because I low sided a tree with one once. My buddy borrowed my buddies, and we had to get a new roof put on. Is there anything else that's worth talking about that you want to like jam on in here for yourself, for your network, for prospective clients? Is there anything that we missed?
I mean, no, I would say, I mean, with the time we have left, I wouldn't, really the only thing would be like how to look into, like the biggest one would be the Gerber collision side of it. And also I still, if you like, I know this week you can't, but next week or whatever, if you could follow up with me on those loom videos with those referrals that are like the five You asked me to send you a few shops and just like how you would approach it, your tactics. Like I would love to see that. Like I said, I know you're busy this week
No, push
but
me, man. I regret, and I'm glad you brought it up. And this is for everybody. Is like if you don't ask for it, you can't get it. And like people assume being polite is. I regret that. If you would have texted me this weekend, I would have made the time. So it's like it seems like a nag. Don't. And I like it's like, hey, dude, I'm sorry, I can't. It's like, yeah. And I would tell you like put Chelsea on it. Is like my goal would be when's our call this week?
are we, yeah, and are we still doing ours, Kevin? I didn't know if we are.
Yeah, I forgot. So you guys took the Tuesday slot, and then
Yep,
we moved to
we are
you and I
Wednesday.
moved to Wednesday. Yeah, I think I have you on the calendar. I've got you pinned 7:30 my time on the 24th. So yeah, we'll roll. I'll make it, and I think I have it to do for that. And so you can help me manage me. It's like, hey, dude, you're holding me back, right? Just this call is like, oh dang it, today sucks. We're getting horses, like shit's going crazy on
Oh
my
yeah,
side,
no,
but.
no.
But no, I want to dive in on that with that. So if you don't see something from me by the end, you don't need to remind me. It's on my list. So I either tonight or tomorrow I will sit with that and spend some time for sure.
No, it sounds good. Yeah. I mean, it's not emergency. My next like scheduled sales day is Wednesday to go 5 accounts I have on the schedule for that day. So after our meeting, that'll be one of my focuses. But
And I think on the whole, like what to do about a body shop, man, I would just live into that. I think it's a big maybe, leaning towards yes, and like you would tell them that you're considering taking on an investor, or a series of investors, or getting a loan to buy an existing body shop or start your own. And like I today you just want to sell PDR. Tomorrow is like, would they ever be open to that, or like do they think it's a good idea? Like you could just, am I crazy? Are you making money? Do you mind like telling me the story? Like I'm not here trying to compete with you. I'm like I will always protect the 5 to 10 to 20 accounts that like bring me along. I don't want to do anything gross. And like I would just live into that, because it's what I find is when you guard something, it gets hard to circle around it and not. And it's like it decreases authenticity, decreases trust, and decreases propensity of the relationship. So find your space in that. I know that's crazy, but like
no, I prefer it. I will
Yeah.
say like, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I guess I am anyways. But
Do it.
like that is one of the things I do enjoy about how you sell versus like my prior mentor. He was very guarded on that and like almost, I don't want to say like hidden, but kind of like, and so I had almost taken that and it felt unnatural to me. Whereas with you, like you're telling you when you're selling, how you've developed your sales approach was like a reflection of yourself. And it feels better to me. Like I feel like I can be myself walking into those accounts and it makes it much easier to build those conversations. But you pointed out a flaw in one thing that I know I don't do well is I hate asking people for something because like this is some like growing up issues that I've had, like whatever, like that's a whole nother story, but like a father-son relationship that wasn't always the best. And so like I don't like to ask people for things. Like that's in that I need to, but I don't like to.
Well, that's what makes people trust you. That's what makes you such a great guy. But it's also like, yeah, I don't like asking people. I always like to be offering things. So like like, and that's where and this is to everybody, is like, you got to find a way to ask without asking, right? It's like, I'm here to see if I can help you with your business, and I'm hoping you can help me with mine, right? That's an easy ask versus, hey, I'd like to sell you PDR. And I think from there, a relationship blooms and it goes. But yeah, and I think there's also a hesitancy to tell your story in its full, because it's like you want to be shy about this or whatever. It's like, yeah, I I have mastered the art of asking for much without asking for anything. Is like because I'm here, I never want a handout, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. And like kind of like in this season where you're like, well, do I tell them about the body shop? Do I not tell them? Dude, when I was soliciting customers back when like we were getting going, like, dude, I just tell them like, please don't judge me by my website, or please don't judge me by my office. It's like I just live into it. It's like, hey, this is like this is what I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I want to do. And frankly, you're at a do or die point in your business. Is like, you got to grow and you're not sure, do I need to add on more services? Right. And so that's the question, is like, do I need to add on more services, or like, how busy can you keep me with PDR? Or do I need to launch a body shop? And like, where would I launch it? Or would you ever let me come under your umbrella and earn my way into an equity position to take this over? Do you have a next generation? Frankly, can I ask, like, are you making good money? And I'm happy to show, that is weird, but it's like, you can tell them where you're at, where you're trying to go, and why you're trying to go there, and you'll find your footing in that. It sounds like you already have. Really, you already have. It's just this: am I soliciting these people to compete with these people? And the more upfront you are about that, I think the better. Is like, I don't want to compete with you. I just need more revenue, and I need a healthier split. So, and I think, I really do think, and I'm saying this publicly, if we decide, I do think that if we solve the storm problem for body shops, that we don't have to have our own body shop, or the location state dependent, maybe, because it sounds like it brings revenue, but a lot of headache. If we can, bring same margin, lower dollars to them, but it's significantly less pain, and I think that works. And I think that all these other bolt-on services, because I don't know anybody that's doing it, I think there's a game to be played, but I would let them tell us that.
Yeah, that's fair. And do you think, like, at what point, and I'm sure like you're taking me down like a path, and as like you're walking me down it as I'm learning and expanding my knowledge, but at what point do we have more of those definitive, like, this is the route we need to take? Because like it seems like we're always like, it's like such a limbo of like, yeah, we should do that. We should do this.
So and you don't have to subscribe to this, but I'm the most fluid guy you're ever going to find. I don't get pigeonholed, right? And like, I let things move with me. And I've only gotten, you'd think that I'd grow out of this, but like, structure is good for certain people. People need structure to feel safe. Like, the fluidity of like moving with the conversation, I think is the greatest strength. And so I would tell you, you're never going to stop learning, right? So the day you get rigid is the day you stop learning, is the day you stop growing, right? And so the do or die of the body shop is like, until you've had like 20 meaningful conversations with the bigs, the middles, the smalls, that say, okay, what's best? And like, then until we've got a system to be able to kind of like take these conversations and understand the market, right? So PDR is one market. I'm going to call these additional services that we're not mastering: tinting, wrapping, whatever those are. Like, those are another market. And then the body shop is another market. And like, I think you're in, as you're selling PDR, you're in research mode. Is like, where do we go? And what is the most dollars for the least frequent, like the least pain? And so if you have a conversation tomorrow with a dude that's running a super profitable business and he wants out of it, and he's like, you're the answer to my prayers, and you're like, oh, cool, well, I have a tentative plan, like, we go, you know what I mean? Like, and if you go, and if you get 20 doors in your face, say, don't do it, you won't make money, and fuck you, or it's like, all right, like, maybe the body shop, this is not a good idea. One, they don't want us to, but I don't know, are they protecting something? And like, I'm comfortable to say, when we talk to these guys, we don't think we need more body shops. I think it's plenty of competition. What we do need is a family vessel that's competing with the big equity-backed players. And like, how do we do that together? Would be the invitation to them. Like, do I be the bolt-on service provider, or do we bring, you can say your mentors network and your mentors, what do we need? What do you need to, and this would be the question, is like, are you loving your business, or are you stuck? What would you need to be unstuck? And like, I don't know if I have that, but I'm like curious to see, where do I intersect that? And so that could be an investor. I don't know. In the lounge, I wouldn't shy away from it. There's like, listen, this crazy guy I talked to wants to build custom trucks and build this also. Like, what do you think of this? You know what I mean? Like, so I have like, there's 3 big buckets, and until you've had a dozen to a couple hundred conversations, I don't know. And then even after you have that, is like, what is the next evolution? So we're trying to go from 1 to 5 million rapidly. Then we're trying to go from 5 to 10 to, and the business will cycle. they're not the same. It's not the same. What got you to 1 million won't get you to 5, and what gets us to 5 may or may not get us to 15. So I would embrace the nuance, and then I'd say you're more of a process guy. So if you need more structure to feel like you're moving, then we can address that. Like the thing I would say, and it's my dad's, and I don't take a lot from him, but like the only bad decision is indecision. So like if you need to be firm about something, like I think either one of those 3 avenues, we could say this is where we're going. For me right now, our system was get your time freed up, which we did rapidly. In 2 months, I think we've transformed your time disposition. All right, cool. Now you spend a month or 2 in full-time sales. And at the end of that, I think you have a really good, all right, we're going to do this for this next 3 years. And then like, this is the follow-on vision, and we're going to remain open to these things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And what you just explained there, like kind of, because like I said, I can tell you're walking me down like the line as I learn and grow and as the company grows with it. So it's just nice to see what you're looking at into the future. So it does help me out, and I can understand being fluid on it and figuring out what the actual right decision is. I was looking back, like commercial films, we just ruled that out. We said X, like we're not focusing on this right now. So I didn't know if there was a point where like we were going to make that next week on body shops, and yeah.
You'll know, and this is the thing that if you do this well, and this is one of those, like when you're doing the right thing, the right things happen, is like when you're doing these sales acts, you're doing the research to tell us what our next steps are. So when you've had 30 conversations, and I think you're going to get better at these conversations, and you're really trying to inform what business strategy should I have, and what we've done here in the circle conversation is you just take that to them and say, look, I don't know which path I should take. What would your guidance be, right? And why?
Yeah.
And like, and you can say you guard against it is like, look, if you become a PDR client, my commitment is I will never cannibalize myself. I don't believe in that. This relationship's more important. But like, what would you tell me to do? I'm looking at, a 5-state geography. I want to be running $50 million worth of work. Should I, you know what I mean? Could I do that in PDR or what? So yeah. You'll know that it's time to make that decision after you've done this. So you're going to spend this time. Like I was able to make that decision because I've done those things. I've within the fence company, like we don't do temp fence. We do, but like we don't do guardrail, right? We've figured out within the fence world what we do and don't do. We should do guardrail, but we're not. So that was a completely adjacent business, just like your real estate. I mean, I made you park that too, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're solely and wholly focused on this PDR business, which we're doing research through sales to figure out what does it need to look like for the next 5 years. And like what markets, all of that becomes really easy in the next 2 months. And I would tell you, when you've had 100 meaningful conversations across the small defunct to the bigs, you're going to be able to be like, yep, no, this is where this is our roadmap. And so then we're doing a sales research study, and then we come to our next quarterly and we say, this is our strategy. Do we need to dive in on the body shop BTO, or do we need to figure out how to be masters of tint, masters of wraps, and masters of vehicle protection films? If you asked me today, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. I need to have the conversations that you're having, and I'm hoping I can coach you through those conversations to understand where the business is. And I'm ranting, and I gotta hang up on you because I'm gonna be late.
Yeah,
late.
I was gonna say, yeah.
My residential aspect of my business has suffered because I knew I had to go to bigger dollars, and I knew I could come back to it. So I could have made the decision to shut it down and launch it later. If you were asking, I probably should have, but like I had a bunch of key people there that like we've got really good infrastructure. So it's kind of just muddled along, and it's set to explode, right? And we focused on the industrial, and that's why we were able to go to 5 to 250 in 6 years, right? So it's like, okay, so we're going to make those same decisions in your business shortly. Could be in weeks. I mean, it really depends. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a hard time. Don't do 1-day sales. Do like everyday sales, like 3 hours every day. And I don't know, like you got yourself bracketed, but when you're full-time in that space, we can move faster.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, Kevin, you got to go, but
yeah, dude, it was good chatting with you.
Later, we'll see you. Yeah.
if you wanted this to be different for you to be able to like send to your customers, like we can script something different. I think this is great and you can use it selectively. I think we could talk more about the lounge. We could talk what if you want to do it different. This gives me what I need to go talk to people, right? To go independently of you because I'm safer. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're talking to people that need to buy from you. I'm going to talk to people. I'll fucking talk to them in Florida, Texas, California, and say, what's going on with body shops? And I'm going out to figure out the lounge and my custom truck dream, right? So I hope you don't mind if I use it. If you don't want it up there, we'll give you, I'll send you the recording. And if you want to edit it out, let me know. I would tell you though, I don't think there's ever a time to edit yourself. Like, I don't think so. But if you want something different for you to use, so you're actually going to put it in front of them, let me know.
Okay. That sounds good, Chief.
Cheers, dude.
Later.
I'm really stoked to be working with you. I'm really proud. Like, you've made a whole, like, I don't want to sit on this thing and like gas you up because it's going to sound like self-promotion, which I hate. But like, dude, you transformed in 2 months. Like that, if you didn't hear yourself say like, I was a $2 million, like ready to give up guy. And now you didn't quite say it assertively, but I'm building a $50 million. You said it. You said it in a circle way. I'm building I've never missed a mark, right? So you're going to do it, man. You're going to do it. Well, I'm going to make sure, I'm damn sure you do it because my freaking resume is online, brother. Like, so success is not optional.
I like it. All right. Later.
Cheers, dude. Talk to you.
Later. Bye.